Whoa. What's up, everyone? I'm on this this is going to be the break page between the first chapter and the second chapter. It's Martin Luther King Day. You may have seen a sketch which has the pencil layer, and there's the underdrawing layer right there. And there's our figure. Brillig is in the back. So this whole next chapter is going to take place in the library. And I have a bunch of ideas, and they're all kind of conflicting ideas, so I'm not sure where I'm going to go. You might have seen this page. This is one I did live yesterday. So I'm working on this. Also, you can get a sense of how I do lettering. So this layer right here is the lettering, and it's really just really quickly lobbed on there with a very thick brush. And then, when it gets to that point in the ink, I'm going to outline it. And then we'll have nice intervals in our letters, we hope. And the spacing will be more or less correct. So this is the ink layer. Inky ink. Well, it is what it is. I'm going to be working on this page for a couple of days, I feel like. Just because it's a very complex scene. You can see how much stuff there is going on. Like there's a Victrola and a plant here. And even though this is in the underdrawing, it doesn't match up. I actually took this chair and I moved it and made it bigger. It was down here. It was about a quarter the size. I decided that was too small. And then I took this. This is a. I don't know if you can see what it is. This is a tilted library cart. There's another one right next to it that says returns. This one's going to say returns also. And there's a skeleton right next to it. So I guess I could kind of draw that, and ain't much to it. But when you have something this complex and this big, it can seem pretty daunting, and actually it is daunting no matter what you do. But the way to approach it is to start with the things that are closest to the front, so the foreground, and then you sort of push back and you use your heaviest line weight. Like look at the line weight I used here in this curtain. This is a trick I picked up from a guy in one of my Kubert classes. I saw him do it, so I'm stealing his bit. Mostly when we think of foreground, we think of what's going on bottom. But this guy used curtains in the foreground. I thought that's so clever, so I put curtains in my foreground. And then we're slowly pushing back. I put a lucky cat. There's all these different little scenes of things going on. There's one of the silverfish from let me get the black in there. Silverfish from Césaire. If you got the 9-Volt Monsters anthology, you'll see them. Little roach-like creatures. Also, I don't want to get it too cluttered up because I want there to be an obvious path that wends its way through this room. And so we're going to see very dense things, here, and then this sort of obvious path so that the eye is going in the right direction. And my densest blacks are going to be here, but also my brightest whites. I've only got black and white, so it's how we're going to do that. Well, we're going to, most concentrated area is what we're going to do. let's put a wheel here, and a wheel here, and a wheel here. There's a broken wheel. And then these are meant to be books. Spilling off the cart. I'm going to come up with a character design for this Cheshire Cat girl that I want to put in here. And I go back and forth. Sometimes I want it to be humanoid. And sometimes I think might want to do like just a cartoony cat, which I think might be funny. Maybe like this lucky cat. Like maybe the lucky cat is just some kind of symbol or something. I don't know. I don't think about a lot of these things until I do them. Anyway. Oh, how about does that look like it's a book? Looks a bit like a book. I think this black is too heavy. So I'm going to change the position of the skeleton. I've got the skeleton here. I think what I'll do is I'm going to move his leg up a little bit. I go put the leg on top of these papers, but the cart has collapsed on top of the skeleton. I've been thinking about milk kniff today, and there's no easy to find milk kniff in Amazon Kindle. You can find these $100 books, which I don't want. I don't want $100 hardback of milk kniff, but um, it's very hard to find. I'm gonna look on Comixology to see if they have a different selection. There was a question that came up about snow scenes, and I remembered the scene. Well, it's pretty iconic for Kniff final. I think it's the final Terry and the Pirates where she's leaving China. They're at the airfield, and it's snowing, and they're talking in the first couple of panels, and you see an announcement come over the radio. They shake hands, and she's getting on the plane. It's a C-130 Hercules cargo plane, and then you see her turn around and run back, and it's all in the snow. You can see her footsteps. It's really cool, and I found that one easily enough. So mission accomplished on the snow one. But I was trying to find this other one, which is an even more powerful panel by Kniff, which is the one with the orphan in the stairwell. And it used to be kind of a famous panel, I thought, because I used to see it all over the place. That one I could not find at all. I looked in different image searches. I don't know what happened to it. These are way too thick as far as line weight. I mean, I bet I could find it if I went and looked eventually. And I don't understand why it was so easy to find before, and now it's so hard to find. Or if there's one cartoonist I'd love to emulate the look of, it'd be Milk and Ev. All right. Remember, these are tiny. when we're looking at them, they have to be internally consistent, but they also have to be very small. There's some records. Like at this point, this is where you know it's not just a fantasy universe. There's a record player and some old LPs. I don't know if I got a very good curve on that. There we go. Fix that. Magazines, posters. There's this vine that's climbing up between these shelves. There's actually two sets of shelves here. I don't know if that's clear, but it's okay if it's not, in my opinion. This is what it looks like with the pencil layer off. And we're starting to kind of understand, you know, what's going on here in the library. My original vision was just a pure landscape. It wasn't even a library. It was just stacks of books. Like the books would form spires and little mountains and things, and they would just be stacked up really high. And there would be gigantic books and tiny books, structures made out of books. And I started to draw, and this was going to be one of the spires right over here. I had the idea that, you know what, I could actually get away with doing an internal library. It's going to take me a couple of days. So, to get this far. How long is it going to take? It's going to take a long time. I'm not used to working this slow. Oh, this is meant to be another set of shelves. I'm going to do a short shelf and a big shelf, like a tall, oversized books. That used to always be interesting to me, is there would be like some shelves would be for the really tall books, and some would be for really short books. when I went to college, Texas Tech University, the library had this, the different floors were just called the stacks, and it really was just stacks and stacks. 7 floors of books. All right, let's see. Do we need shadows here? Yeah, I think we do. At this point, we're standing down here looking up. I know this looks messy when I zoom out. I think it's going to look fine. I think the overall effect is going to be good. These will be paperback books here, tightly stacked, with different heights, slightly different heights. Let's see. There we go. Sort of an implied thing. It's like some writing down on some of these. There we go. Let me zoom back out. All right. I mean, we could confidently say, oh, we've got half of it done, but it's like it just gets more and more complex as you go back further back. So I'm not sure I really do have, you know, half done. Let's do this other. It's another library cart. These low. I haven't been to a library in a long time. Our library out here is kind of lame, but I think books are lame lately. Maybe that's just me. It just seems like after Harry Potter, you either were copying it or giving up. We used to have incredible science fiction and fantasy back when we were a proper country. Let's see. All right, I've got the cart here. This is an empty version of the cart, and I'm going to put books on it. I'm going to change the sign so it says returns. I'm going to fix that line weight right there. Boy, that's egregious. What happened there? Okay. All right, what do you think's going on here? think we need to put a third rail. Something like that. We get rid of this diagonal. Same deal here. This is actually not the first insane library I've ever drawn. Just because I have my sort of multiverse of characters and stories, I thought about tying this up to the Prometheus Powers story. Because Prometheus Powers begins in a library as well. It's an interdimensional library, so it's almost the exact same concept. Let me. That's an ugly line. Wait, let's fix that. All right. Returns. Okay. Over on Prometheus Powers, where is he? Opening sequence. The library. Now, I drew this 2020, and I thought this was really tough for me at that time. And you can see I've gone way further. I've gone beyond that. I mean, it's got it's got some basic perspective on the first floor. Things get a little weird on the second floor, but luckily you don't really spend too much time looking at it because with all the um, speech bubbles, you know, you weren't really given the enough information to throw you off with the perspective. It's just fine. And unearthly monument known as the Celestial Library. So he's dreaming that he's in the Celestial Library, which means he's in it. Because in dreams you enter it. That wasn't very good. Oh, come on. Wasn't very good back then, but this is um, part of the story about crossing over between dreams and reality before he's completely possessed by the Prometheus Powers Titan. Anyway, moving on. Where are we? That's slowly but surely. In 25 minutes, I've done like a little bit. All right, there's a globe here. Let's do the globe. So that's the top of the shelf. There's a vase. Some dead flowers in it. Like, this is definitely not the Celestial Library. This is the basement, if anything. I call it the Lost Library. Okay. Let's move our books in. And there's our globe. Yep. Something like that. I think the cool thing about this particular panel is it's not super important. I mean, it's an establishing shot, so that's what's important about it. And the picture definitely does tell a story. That's my minimum standard. Picture must tell a story. And the story here, if we're going to break it down, is that he's lost in the complicated new environment, which is a library where something weird has gone on, right? And there are symbols that are hidden. There are symbols that are hidden in the visible art that you can see. There's a rabbit. How do you like my rabbit? Oh, we've got to move beyond a world of symbols. Okay. Why is this one so big? Maybe it's a newspaper. So let's make this one like a newspaper, so it's Got some paper sticking out, and it's got a title. It's written in columns. This line maybe doesn't make as much sense. I think that's when I was trying to kind of plan out the flow. Some of the books should just be stacked on the floor. What's the deal with this vine, right? Why are the flowers dead? I want a lot of unanswered questions, like in this picture. Oof. Come on now. What happened there? I think at some point it's going to be important to show that Brillig is um, an unlikely hero. He's not a hero yet. He hasn't done anything heroic. He's a dumb guy. Um, just follows his basic instincts, and I've got to give him some kind of choice, and that at that point we really learn about who Brillig is. All right. Have I done enough for a while? Nobody's gonna notice that skeleton back here. Like, what's that? It's too small, but that's fine. You'd have to really zoom in. And this whole thing's gonna get shrunk down to, I mean, this is 11 by 16 right now. But of course, it'll be shrunk down at the end. I was showing this to Sideburns, and he was like, "You're gonna have a hard time inking that." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But if it comes out like the original underdrawing did, I guess it'll be okay. I mean, we'll be able to see some of it at least. Figure it out. All right. Would you call this half done? It's more and more intricate steps, but I think that it's like there's going to be less to them. Like there's less detail you can even show. In fact, I think this little area I'm drawing right now, I originally had as just garbage. It was just going to be like just kind of a lump of stuff. Let's do this set of steps. There's the smart way to do this. Shoot. There's just that. I usually take shortcuts, but I think that's a good one. Oh, fuck. Yeah, let's try it. One of three. All right. Everyone. Pretty good. Okay. It's very Where's Waldo in its own way. All right. Well, we're getting somewhere. This is about actual size, so I think we'll see him at the end of the day. Especially if I surround him with a nice nimbus of light somehow. I've got to make some kind of features. I don't know, maybe there's a spear or something that's literally pointing, right towards him. Or maybe it won't be a problem. Maybe people just notice him. See if I just beak enough. All right. 40 minutes. I think it's enough for right now. I'm going to give this a rest. When I come back, try and paint in the rest, maybe even do the title. Think about what the next pages are going to be. I haven't even written them yet. I have ideas. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you later.